When asked to name some of the amazing new wave artists that came out of the late 70s and early 80s, most people are going to mention the Cars, the Pretenders, A Flock of Seagulls, maybe even Devo. A name you are unlikely to hear is Alice Cooper. But believe it or not, Alice dabbled in the newer wave of music with the help of producer Roy Thomas Baker way back in 1980. And the result? Well, it was actually pretty darn good. I do, however, get it if you are just a little bit confused by all this. After all, Alice is, was, and always will be the king of shock rock. Welcome to My Nightmare, the album pictured here, was the first Alice Cooper album that I ever heard. I was 11 when my friend Mike Moyes played it for me one evening at his house. There was another kid there too. I can't remember who actually owned the album. It doesn't really matter. Mike, by the way, would forever be a legend in our neighborhood for his ability to convince his grandmother to buy him Kiss's Detroit Rock City. But that's another story for another time. Getting back to Welcome to My Nightmare. It's a killer concept album. It was actually the first solo album by Alice Cooper. Prior to that, Alice Cooper was the name of a band, just like Pink Floyd. That 1975 album contained classics like Only Women Bleed, Cold Ethel, Department of Youth, and the title track. Told through the eyes and nightmares of a young man named Stephen, Welcome to My Nightmare was the first concept album that I had ever heard. The album was a big hit, and of course, Alice Cooper became a household name. And anytime you have this kind of fame, it is easy to get sidetracked and distracted. It's hard not to feel like a little of that happened to Mr. Cooper. Along with appearing with the Muppets, Alice did all sorts of things that played against type and truthfully didn't help his image at all. Also, in my opinion, the next few albums weren't all that great, and even though 1978's From the Inside is a personal favorite of mine, the album didn't sell all that well, and I'm sure the execs at the record label had hoped for so much more. And so why not? What's the harm? As they say, necessity is the mother of invention. So here comes 1980's Flush the Fashion. As I mentioned, it was produced by Roy Thomas Baker. Yep, that same Roy Thomas Baker who had such great success with bands like the Cars, Journey, and Queen. Musically, the album is a big change of style for Cooper. While his prior album, From the Inside, was definitely vintage Cooper, Flush the Fashion was heavily influenced by new wave bands that were storming up the charts in the late 70s and early 80s. And the album was Alice Cooper's most successful album in 3 years, and is widely considered by fans, such as myself, to be a classic album in the Cooper catalog. That said, I'm just not buying this look. Who is this guy? I mean, really, the makeup, or lack thereof, just kind of sucks. I don't know. While Flush the Fashion was a great album, the Alice that is staring out at us in this glazed manner on the back of the cover of the album just doesn't feel right. I don't know, it's weird to say this, but it feels too corporate, too staged, too gimmicky. Quite frankly, it does the music on the album a bit of a disservice. So the music? Well, the songs are great. Clones, Talk Talk, and Pain kick off an amazing collection of music that thankfully can be easily accessed by Spotify, Amazon, or even YouTube. Pick your poison, people. Alice will be there to give you your fix. I know you're asking yourself if that's really Alice on the concert poster there. And you're right, he's all made up to look like a member of Duran Duran or something. Still, give the album a spin. You'll find that producer Baker's talents actually do a very nice job of complementing Mr. Cooper's efforts here. Oh, that's so much better. Whew. All is right with the world again. Fortunately for all of us, Alice realized the error of his ways, and by the mid-80s, he'd returned to that hard rock genre that had served him so well, and continues to serve him well even today. I gotta say, that is just the most handsome fella in that top hat there. So, have you ever listened to anything off Flush the Fashion? What do you think? Leave your comments below. And while you're at it, don't forget to like this video. And if you haven't already done so, subscribe to my channel. But most importantly, as always, thank you so much for watching.